Hello friendly faces, welcome to another video. So this week I thought we could do some autumn lawn maintenance. As you can see, my lawn's looking a little bit woolly, but there's a few things we can do to get it through the winter and be off to a flying start in the spring. So we're going to need a lawnmower, a fork, a rake, grass seed and some fertiliser. My lawn for most of the year is in the shade, so I've chosen a shady lawn seed mix, and this has got specially selected seeds that grow better in the shade. You can buy other types of mixes for wet lawns, dry lawns, lawns in the sun, or lawns that are going to take a lot of hard wear. Autumn really is the best time to do lawn maintenance. This is because the soil is still warm. Once the seed germinates, it can get the roots down really quick and be established for winter while putting on top growth at its leisure. Whereas in the spring, the soil is still cold, which means germination is slower, plus the seed is trying to put down roots and top growth at the same time. Next comes the fertiliser. This is the one I've been using up the allotment, and it's a balanced fertiliser, which means it gives the nutrients in equal quantities. A lot of lawn fertilisers are high in nitrogen, which is good for the summer because it gives nice lush growth, but in the winter lush growth is susceptible to diseases. And the rake you need is not a regular rake. It's one like this called a springtime rake, especially made for use on lawns, and I'll show you how to use that in a minute. Next comes your mower. So the first thing you got to do, check all your cables, check all your nuts and bolts, make sure they're nice and tight. Then check your oil levels, just like you do with your car. If it does need some more oil, just give it a little top up. Once the oil's checked, fill up with petrol. Use a funnel, and if you can, do it on a hard standing, away from the grass, because if you spill petrol on the grass, it will burn it, it will go bright orange, and the soil will be contaminated, and it will take quite a while for the soil to get clean again. Once everything's checked and topped up, it's time to start mowing. If you've got a self-propelled mower, just let it go along at its own speed. If it's like this, a push mower, just push it along slowly, don't try and race with it, because if you do, it won't cut properly and leave patches. Now this mower has only got wheels, it hasn't got a rear roller, so it won't leave the nice stripes behind. So you'll need to mow several times, but each time you mow, lower the height of cut and try to get as low as you can. And that's to make the next process easier, the scarification. So scarification is basically raking the lawn. And what you're trying to do is get out all the moss, all the dead grass leaves and all the prostrate stems. And this gives you a thing called thatch. And thatch is this. It's just an accumulation of debris, and you want to try to remove as much as you can, because after a while there'll just be a build-up of moss, and that will slowly kill off the grass. It is quite hard work, or good exercise, as you really need to get the rake in and pull, and as you can see, after just a few feet there's quite a lot of thatch come out. As well as getting the thatch out, what you're also trying to do is pull up these straggly stems and roots so they can be cut off as well. When you get halfway across, it's a good idea to stop, rake up what you've got, put it in a bucket and then come the other way. And and then you'll be left with this, all the stems standing up, ready for another cut. So this is one tub full after just one rake, and this stuff, this thatch, can also be used to line hanging baskets if you wish. Then it's time for another mow to cut off all the prostrate stems you've pulled up and all the debris that's left behind, and this can get quite dusty, and it is surprising how much you can get off. Here's one. And here's one grass box full, and this thatch in here is really compacted, and it can fill another tub up, and this is after already being mown and raked. So this is how it looks after being mown and scarified. Now it can look a bit alarming, lots of bare patches everywhere, but in fact I would like to get a lot lower, but I'm limited by my mower. So what I'm going to do is stop scarifying and move on to what's called aerating. This is where the fork comes in. And basically, as you can see, what you do, stick it in and make holes. So this breaks up compaction, and it lets the air get down into the soil and get down to the roots. And if you've got good roots, you get good top growth. So this helps the grass fight off pests and diseases and makes it a bit more tolerant to wear and tear, people walking up and down across it. Ideally, it should be done across the whole lawn, but if you've only got a fork, just do the worst patches. Once the lawn's been aerated, it's time to get the grass seed down. Now I've not used something like this before. Normally I'll sprinkle it by hand, but I'll give it a go and see how it comes out. So that's what it looks like once it's opened, and then you just get down low and start sprinkling. If it's a bit windy, get a bit lower and just spread it all across the lawn, concentrating mainly on your bare patches. Now it's time to spread the fertiliser. This is a granular fertiliser, and what it will do, as it gets wet over the winter, it will slowly release the nutrients into the soil. And it doesn't really matter which way round you do this, grass first or fertiliser, the result should still be the same. So here's the finished lawn, scarified, aerated, fertilised and seeded. Ideally next you should spread some topsoil, but that can get a bit expensive, so I haven't done that. But it won't make too much difference to the final outcome. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.